Hello and welcome to today's tutorial. I am Halana Black of DigitalWellPublisher.com. I help people to create books that build your business. And today we are talking about the fastest way to be able to find new readers and clients. So what are we talking about today? We are talking about new ways for you to be able to find these new readers and clients. And with all of these new social media techniques, all these new social media tools that are coming out, there really just isn't any excuse for you to not be able to grow your email list, for you to be able to get the word out about the book that you have written, or even the book that you are in the process of writing. Um, there are plenty of avenues now for you to be able to use social media to be able to talk to people and connect with those people who are most interested in what it is that you have to offer. So some of the places that I'm thinking about when I talk about where to look for new readers and clients is number one is looking at podcasts. You can also look at online radio shows like Blog Talk Radio. If you are familiar with live streaming apps, Blab.im is becoming a really huge tool on the internet now for people who just want to have a show. You can have up to 3 people on there talking with other people asking you questions about whatever your topic is for the day. They have hot seats available, so you can definitely create your own show, or you can go on someone else's blab and talk about what it is that you have to offer. And of course, good old-fashioned blogs have not gone out of style. They're still a really great place for you to be able to write blog posts or have the person who's running a blog interview you for their own blog. So what are some of the things you want to think about before you actually um, start attempting to pitch some of these shows that you might find? Number one is to think about what sort of value it is that you have to provide to their audience. So you really want to write a list of your core speaking and writing topics. So for example, it's just an example. If you're a parenting coach, okay, do you talk about communication with teens or toddlers? Are you talking about discipline techniques? Are you talking about the proper use of technology with children? Okay, if you are a meditation expert, do you talk about meditation for busy people? Are you a meditation expert for children? If you're a personal chef, some things you might want to be able to talk about are time-saving meal tips for busy families, or spices that help to boost the immune systems. There's a lot of different ways that you can actually take whatever it is that you do and turn those into talking topics. Now, if you already have a book that you've written, that's a great way to be able to take some of the talking topics from your book and be able to turn that into topics that you can use to be able to talk about when you get onto a show or when you pitch a show idea, or even if you are still in the process of writing your book. You haven't exactly written it yet, but you're in the process of writing it. This will also help you to get the information that you need to be able to continue to write your book, and also appear as an expert when you offer people your pitch idea. Next, you want to make a targeted list of shows and blogs. Okay, and I want you to think both big and small. Okay, if you see a particular show that looks really interesting, um, don't bypass it just because you think, well, they've only got 20 viewers, or they only have a very small readership, so I'm not going to bother with approaching them with a pitch. That's really the wrong thing to do, because number one, shows grow all the time. And when you are considered to be um, one of the newer guests on a particular show, and then the show happens to blow up, you know that you'll be a part of making that particular show a very popular show. And also, there's a really popular show for entrepreneurs called Entrepreneur on Fire by John Lee Dumas. If you're not familiar, you can just Google Entrepreneur on Fire. You'll find it's a very popular podcast for entrepreneurs. Now, this gentleman has at least a few 100,000 downloads of his podcast every month. Okay. So if you are absolutely brand new to doing this sort of a thing with pitching people, you may not want to absolutely start with that kind of a show. Why? Because it takes some practice in getting this right, and learning how to be a guest and being comfortable with talking to people in the audience. And so, starting small could be a very good place for you to be able to start, so that you'll feel comfortable in what it is that you're doing. Next, you really want to think about the value that you offer. Look for shows that have a similar audience to who it is that you are trying to reach. So, for example, if you are a brand coach, you may not necessarily want to pitch a show that's also hosted by another brand coach. However, if you're a brand coach, you may want to pitch a show that's hosted by a social media expert, right? Why? Because brand coaching and social media expert, those two work together, and more than likely you may be trying to shoot for the same audience. So you want to think about that type of a collaboration where the host of the show probably has a certain type of an expertise, and you are able to come in and offer some kind of added information that he or she may not be able to provide to their audience. So you, at that point, you truly become an added value expert. And then we're still making a targeted list of shows and blogs. So where can you find these shows and blogs that you can approach? Google is always a really great place to be able to find potential shows. You can just put, if you're a person who's looking for shows about social media, you can put social media podcast, or something like that. Facebook and LinkedIn groups are a really great place for you to be able to find potential show hosts. If you go into Facebook and you just start searching, for example, podcasts, you'll find that there's a great list of groups, of Facebook groups, and even in LinkedIn groups of people who want support on putting their show together. And a lot of times they will talk about, the problems that they're having. They may announce that they're interested in doing a particular show and they're looking for potential guests. They often announce when and where it is that they broadcast their podcasts or whatever else it is that they are working on. And so you can become active in these groups and start connecting with people from there. And then you can start to add them to your list of potential targeted shows that you can target. I said LinkedIn groups are a really great place to look. If you're looking for podcasts, iTunes.com is a really great place to look. They have a whole section in there on podcasts. Take a look at the new and noteworthy section where some of the newer podcasts are coming out. But also you can do a search that is dependent upon your particular show topic. Stitcher is a very similar application that is used for mostly Android users. So if you have Stitcher on your phone and you are an Android user, you can use Stitcher and start looking for potential shows from there if you're an Android user. And then of course there's Blab. Blab.im is that brand new live streaming tool that I told you about. Just go to blab.im.com, or blab.im rather, and you can just find information in there according to your show topic. And then you want to start researching your shows or even your list of blogs. think about what show topics have they already done. So that actually means that you have to go through their list of shows and then actually start listening to them. Listen to them in their whole, in their entirety. You want to be able to get a feel for what the show format is. Is this a 15-minute show versus a 1 hour show? Think about what kinds of questions do they ask their guests. Some shows tend to ask their guests some of the same questions every single time, and you want to be able to think about, is that something that you want? Are these the type of questions that you're interested in asking? And then you want to just sort of brainstorm 3 to 5 potential show topics for yourself. How is it that you can offer some new value for this particular show topic? And then you want to move forward and pitch. Okay. Number one, you might want to go to this person's website or to the show website and look for guidelines on how to be a guest on the show. If those guidelines are not there, you can just look for the person's contact info and then just send a brief email. Tell them who you are and what it is that you do. Show them that you've listened to their podcast show or you've read their blog post before. And then offer your list of 3 to 5 potential show topics. Don't forget to tell them about your book or even the book that you are in the process of writing. And then just explain to them why it is that you're the perfect guest for this potential show topic. Some pitch mistakes that people make is that number one, they start off the email saying that I want to promote my new book or my business. You don't want to do that because you're sort of just coming off as someone who you just want to come in and take from them as opposed to offering value to their listeners. They also fail to follow the contact instructions. If they have very specific instructions on how it is that they want you to pitch a potential show topic, then definitely you want to make sure that you pay attention to that. People also fail to do research on what the show or the blog is looking for in a potential guest. So you really want to make sure that you sit down and actually listen to these shows or even read the blog posts, whichever one is most applicable. And then once you do all of that, you want to follow up. Once you send the email, you may not hear back right away. Wait about a week or two before following up. And just say, hey, I sent you an email on such and such a date. You may want to include that email with your follow-up email letter, just because, email gets lost, people get busy, and just, see if they respond to your follow-up request. And so basically that's it. Those are my list of ways to be able to use newer social media for you to be able to get in front of the audience that you want to be able to talk to. So if you need further help in figuring out how to be able to write your book and get your book and your topics in front of the people that you want to be able to help, then why don't you go ahead and book a Creative Momentum Strategy session with me? You can go to this web link here. It's bit.ly/book strategy session. And we can fill out a short application, and then you will be able to get on the phone and talk about who you are and what kind of a book it is that you're trying to write, as well as what it is that you would like to be able to do with your business. This is not a free coaching session, but rather just an opportunity for us to be able to see if working together would make sense. Okay, so again, my name's Helana Black of DigitalWellPublisher.com. You can go to bit.ly/book strategy session if you're interested in booking a Creative Momentum Strategy session with me. Okay, thanks so much. Have a great day.